Hey guys, we're getting ready to do the Georgia Queen Riverboat Tour. So we'll get on there in a minute and let you all see what it's all about.
Go with us.
Yeah, we're doing the scenic tour. They also have a lunch and dinner cruise as well. And you're even going to get a little trombone music in the background. So, yeah, hope y'all enjoy.
Hey, it's Jada.
Hey, it's Jason.
And welcome to the Pet It Life.
As we said in the intro, guys, this is the Georgia Queen. It's a riverboat tour you can do in Savannah, Georgia on River Street. So hope you guys enjoy. So this is inside the Georgia Queen where they have the lunch and dinner cruise. Then they have a bar here. And it looks like there's a stage up there where they may have live music.
Wise to surmise that is cutting it too close for comfort, right? Cutting it too close, but fret not, pen us at paper. Yet another bridge has been greenlit, another project has been greenlit. They're going to raise the bridge once again. Just like in the 90s, allowing the poor economy to grow for decades to come, allowing us to impact the U.S. economy even more prolific way than we are now. Excited to. Many of you admire this ship off our starboard side or the right side, the Georgia Queen. Folks, this is what's known as a ro-ro ship.
Ro-ro ship.
Ro-ro ship. Now, folks, it's called a ro-ro ship because there's a ramp off of the stern that secures to the dock that allows them to roll on and roll off vehicles. Roll on and roll. That's how we get the name. Because ships are extremely creative, right? The best way to conceptualize a ro-ro ship, basically just think of it as a gigantic floating parking garage. We're talking about over a dozen decks with hundreds of vehicles, namely foreign vehicles. So think Kias, Volvos, Mercedes, those types of cars.
Yeah, that's how foreign cars get here, one way.
And heavy machinery, even aircraft will be repaired on the ro-ro ship.
Look at that anchor.
Now, as we pass by the bow of the ro-ro, we're going to be sailing alongside a dock space here. You might notice those yellow bollards there, the lines attached to James Edward Oglethorpe landed here in Savannah.
Coming around the River Street
now. The voyage he took from England across the ocean to our coast here, that took him about 88 days to complete. 88 days at sea. It's a long time in a sailboat. That exact same voyage with the new power of the steam engine, that would be reduced down to something more like 27 days. So nearly cut into a third. That would revolutionize the shipping industry forever.
So this is that new JW Marriott complex. We're getting ready to go past.
Landed and got down to get to the boat today. This very first stretch of River Street, this is known as Plant Riverside. Now, Plant Riverside is named thusly because it actually used to be a power plant. It was a coal-fired plant for years, powering the lights and trolleys. Now, today, it operates as the luxury hotel, the JW Marriott. And folks, you don't actually have to be staying in the Marriott. You don't need a key card or anything like that to enjoy a lot of what they have for the public. You can walk right into the Marriott. It's a big museum with a dinosaur hanging from the ceiling. A lot of cool gifts and artifacts in there and pieces of artwork. There's also many great restaurants and bars, both indoor and outdoor and rooftop. The Electric Moon in particular, that's the rooftop bar you see under the smokestacks there. There's a window cleaner hanging from it right at the moment.
Yeah, you can see it right there.
If you like to mix playground equipment with alcohol, that is the bar for you. Because guess what, folks? They have a slide that goes down from the bar into a backyard rooftop play area where there's even more playground equipment for inebriated adults to play with. So if that's your scene, you just go ahead and make plans for the Electric Moon. Here and play Riverside. Now, passing by some of these older buildings here, or passing by Plant Riverside, we're looking at some more historic buildings. Now, you folks might notice some of the varied size and color cobblestones that make up some of the faces of these older buildings. And you know what, guys? Not just the buildings themselves, even some of the ramps and walkways that you might have utilized on the riverfront. Many of you probably had to walk down a steep large cobblestone ramp even just to get to River Street today. Because of course River Street is separated from Bay Street by the natural Yamakra Bluff. Kind of getting a peek of the bluff gap in the buildings here at this moment. Now folks, I'm bringing up all those old cobblestones that are on the riverfront because many of them began their lives as ballast stones. Now, if you have any sailor on the boat today, we will tell you that in modern times, we primarily ballast ships using water. It's how we accomplish that. We've got sea chests, inner vessels. We can manage water levels that way. But folks, a long time ago, 1600s, 1700s, much of the 1800s, if you were a sailor and you wanted to go pick up some cargo, actually had to account for weight distribution ahead of time and load down the hull of your sailboat literally with rocks.
Getting ready to go behind our hotel.
Going out, being a sailor, a merchant mariner during that time. And so folks, in our particular instance, we had English sailors, English merchants. They loaded down the hull of their sailboats with these ballast stones to balance their ships. They sailed
So directly in front of us right now is the River Street Inn.
Onto the docks, the port. They picked up whatever they came to pick up, which namely at the time, guys, would have been sugarcane, tobacco,
River Street Inn, where we're staying at.
Cotton, linen, tea, whiskey, etc., etc., and then they just left. They just sailed back to England with no real regard for the copious amount of stones that they just left all over the ported area here in what's now Savannah. And so, folks, the people of early settled Savannah,
Apologize for coughing. I'm fighting off a cold.
make lemonade out of lemons, and they used those stones best they could as building materials. And a lot of the ramps and the walkways and the structures that have actually stood the test of time right here on the riverfront. And so, folks, you're walking back up that cobblestone ramp street up to Bay Street where you parked, trying not to die or twist your ankle or tear your ace clean in half. Just keep in mind, some of those old cobblestones that you're tripping over them originally from England as early as the 1600s. Some of them might be earlier than that.
That's pretty cool.
Some very old English stones still today on the riverfront. I encourage you as you're back on River Street to sort of consider the amount of history that's being trodden over still today on River Street. The amount of stories that are associated that those stones have seen. Very old English stones. Now, folks, just a spot of geography, not much, but just a smidgen of geography. I think it's important to know that the Savannah River, for much of its length, operates as the dividing line between Georgia and South Carolina. It's kind of how the river operates for much of its length. That is the case, however, except for at this very moment. Because if you guys were to look off of the port side of the Georgia Queen or the left side of the Georgia Queen, you'd still be looking at Georgia. This is Hutchinson Island, Georgia. Now, friends, Hutchinson Island is actually what's referred to as a man-made island. That's because it is the product of over 200 years worth of dredging material being poured into the island. And so in those 2 centuries, guys, it's literally doubled in size. It's now over 7 miles long. It's over a mile wide. The Savannah Convention Center is there, the luxury West End Hotel, both of which are very popular wedding destinations and corporate venues. They've got a golf course over there. They've got a racetrack. And folks, maybe its most notable inhabitant, the American alligator.
Yep.
The American
yeah, there's the waving girl
lives over there on
statue.
the island, and folks, it is a bit unfettered, untouched, kind of roams and ranges, king of the jungle over there. They also like to lie very still until they're ready to attack or hunt. So just, you know what, if you're visiting Hutchinson Island, just keep your head on a swivel. I would hate for anybody to become lunch on vacation. That would be rather unfortunate. Watch out for them Georgia gators. Now, interestingly enough, something about these alligators, we kind of believe that the American alligator prefers fresher water than this. We believe that the brackish water is actually a bit too salty for their taste, despite them calling it home here in the river. Because they actually prefer to spend the majority of their time on banks and the marshes of the island itself, rather than spending the majority of their time in the water itself, like you might assume an alligator might. But in their DNA, biologically, like a lot of animals do, they sort of innately understand the healing properties that salt water can have for their bodies. You see, folks, a lot of animals automatically get this, that salt water is good for them, good for their skin, for healing wounds and things like that. So, from time to time, we will see the gator out cooling off, swimming around, enjoying the river. The last several gators that I've seen, they've either been just kind of floating by one of the many docks here along the river, or simply swimming from one side to the other, usually right there on the surface of the water. So that's yet another creature to keep your eyes out for today as you're going up and down the river. And so those at a time, the ships will drop them off at the many container ports we have here along the river. Well, they'll be unloaded in 60 to 90 minutes. Talk about a well-oiled operation.
60 to 90 minutes.
They'll then connect them to the
Can be up to
system,
8 to 16,000 containers.
And then they will have
those over there right by the rail yard.
To highways, freeways, and interstates right here in the ported area.
So they can take them off the ship, go over there and put them on a train, and then it goes within 90 minutes.
Our port today, and then that product or that good, that might be in Iowa or Michigan or Missouri or Memphis, Tennessee by tomorrow.
That's pretty crazy.
And we definitely all take that for granted, right? We get our smartphone out, press a button. There's a shark vacuum on our doorstep in a week or less. The shipping industry, folks, has a big part to play in that process. We're happy to contribute to that.
Look at those huge cranes.
By allowing the container traffic in particular to grow and thrive right here in the Savannah River. Now, friends, many of you are admiring the ship that we're passing at this very moment off the starboard side. Now, she is by no means a container vessel. Still very much a frequent and important ship. That's what's known as a brick bulk carrier. Now, the brick bulk carriers are characterized by those large cargo holds with a vertically open.
Okay, all right. This is a brick bulk carrier, not a container ship. I thought it was a container ship because it was sitting here by the container yard.
I don't know if you guys saw
It is not.
The T-Rex comes out of the cargo hold. I think it's in San Diego, and I think of that every single time.
So they've got those big container areas.
Yeah, I know what I'm talking about, but even that Jurassic Park. They've also got cranes right there in the center. The ship, those are being operated by crewmen and a center nut that are controlling the cranes. And ladies and gentlemen, simply put, the brick bulk carrier, it just has the capability of transporting, of carrying bulk material. So just think things, resources, and items that you can't simply just pick up and move around. You literally have to scoop it up, right, and pour it into a large cargo hold or a large cargo bay. It's exactly what the brick bulk carriers can do. And we're actually approaching another brick bulk carrier. And she's actually docked at the southeast woodchip dock where we've got some bulk materials being produced over here.
Here's another one.
Those materials require the transportation of a brick bulk carrier. Now we're going to see a couple of different materials over here. The first one that we're going to notice is going to be more of a gray steel colored material. Almost looks like an elephant's hide in its color. And that material is actually going to be gypsum. Gypsum that's over there. Gypsum goes into concrete to help it become more flexible, less likely to crack over time. Actually requires flexibility to refrain from cracking over time, concrete. So gypsum goes into concrete for that reason. Also goes into drywall and many makeup products, like foundation products. So it goes into a bridge and on your face. We've actually got a barge that's being tugged, being pushed along inward off our port side, folks, and she's actually carrying some gypsum on her at this moment. She's actually carrying steel reinforced concrete beams. Those are something, that's another resource that's produced here in the river that goes all over the place to various big construction projects, bridge building projects. And gypsum certainly goes into the concrete that's mixed, used for those beams. And so that's just another example of, yeah, the gypsum's being shipped out to various places, but it's also being used right here in our own port as we're producing these concrete beams by the thousands, going out to all projects all over the country. But folks, off the starboard side, the right side, as we kind of pass by the edge the stern of the breakbulk carrier, we're going to see another resource being produced here at the wood chip dock, and that is, well, it's in the name, it's wood chips that we're going to see here. Wood chips are being produced over here. It's the sandy colored material that you're going to see piled up in this great mound. Now, here's the thing about these wood chips, folks. The wood chips here in the port, those are not being sent to farming or to various construction projects. These wood chips are actually going to the Mediterranean. They're going to be loaded in the back of a breakbulk carrier.
Going to the Mediterranean, those wood chips.
And they'll be taken to Turkey and Greece, where they'll then be mixed with resin and then turned into particle board. And if you're not familiar with particle board, it is super easy. Just go to Walmart, go to IKEA, go to Wayfair.com, and take a look at some of that furniture you can order and put together yourself in your living room. It's a nice like wood material. Allows you to piece together furniture pieces sort of swiftly and conveniently. She was like that.
An old dredging ship.
Unfortunately,
Shipwreck.
salvageable for the crew, as you can imagine. But luckily for us, neither the Georgia Port Authority nor the South Carolina government, neither has been able to ascertain any sort of logistical or environmental reason to remove it, so they've elected just to leave it there for our viewing pleasure. And I'm glad they did. I think it's really cool looking, especially at sunset. If you guys get the chance to come back for the sunset cruise as we're further downriver, you kind of get to see the sunset and the bridge in the back onto the sunken dredge ship. It's a great photo opportunity. But folks, I mentioned that was a dredge ship in its heyday. I also said earlier that Hutchinson Island was the product of dredge material being poured onto the island. So if you're hearing this
That's the end of Hutchinson Island.
Today, and folks, if you're unfamiliar, dredging
Over there,
is
South Carolina.
It happens 365, 24/7, believe it or not. And simply put, dredging is just the process of sucking up all that silt and eroded material from the bottom of the river so that we can maintain a depth. You might recall the ships, they're getting so tall we need to build another bridge because they need a height clearance. Well, friends, they are also very deep. They need a depth clearance as well. So we dredge out the Savannah River to maintain a depth of at least 47 feet at low tide. That's recently increased, that's bound to continue to increase as the port economy grows. Is this old masonry brick structure. I wanted to kind of take a moment and give you guys some time to get out here if you're in the interior dining rooms, because this is going to be worth seeing, guys. What we're approaching is the second oldest standing military structure in the state of Georgia. This is Old Fort Jackson. Not to be confused, by the way, with Fort Jackson. There's actually a distinction between Old Fort Jackson and Fort Jackson. And Old Fort Jackson, folks, let me tell you, it deserves its name. It was built on an old Revolutionary War battery. It officially began its construction in 1808 in anticipation of the War of 1812. So, very old structure. Had a presence in the Civil War as well. Now, today they operate as a museum, guys. They do live cannon firing. They do live reenactments. A lot of great.
And we have a video of that already on the YouTube channel. So go check that out.
I may reinsert it in this one.
They're actually about to perform a live cannon firing in the next.
Oh, we're gonna get to see them do.
Have any kids with you? You might warn them to cover their ears. And ladies and gentlemen, if you catch the cannonball, you got a drink on me. I'll buy you a Jack and Coke if you catch the cannonball. Just turn it into one of these bartenders here and we'll get you a drink. Because they're going to try to sell us. Brace yourself, folks.
Fire exercise. There it is. Good job. That was awesome. And there's the fort. I said I'll insert some pictures and video and stuff from when we visited that the last time we were here.
That's old Fort Jackson, like I said, just a great experience for the whole family to have. Really, they've got a lot of great resources that you can engage with to learn more about the fort's history. And like I said, with it being built in 1808, it's seen a lot of history, right? The founding fathers were trotting on this campus here, so there's plenty of history to learn about it. Fun experience for the family to have. I encourage you, if you get the chance, definitely go visit old Fort Jackson. It's definitely worth the visit.
Pardon my voice, guys. Still trying to get over this cold. But here's some pictures, as I promised, from our trip to Old Fort Jackson the last time we came to Savannah. This is looking back out towards where the Georgia Queen was at. And then here's inside the fort, a couple different shots and angles just for you guys to be able to enjoy in case you can't ever make it down here. But I do recommend, if you're ever in the area, to stop by here and check it out. Like I said, they have interactions, as you can see here. He's getting ready to demonstrate the cannon fire. And yeah, this is just a beautiful place in history, and hopefully you guys can check it out. This is what the Georgia Queen looks like at night on the evening cruise. Just wanted you guys to see what that looked like too, in case you wanted to do that one. So hope you enjoyed everything. Well, Jada, what'd you think of the Georgia Queen?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was pretty neat, wasn't it?
Pretty nice. I really enjoyed going by Fort Jackson.
Yeah, Old Fort Jackson.
That was cool.
Yeah. He's getting ready to lower the ramps. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah.
See ya.
Come see it for yourself.
Yeah. Bye.
As always, thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for our next big adventure. Like, share, and subscribe to get that content.